What's up, guys? Welcome to Reseller's Life. My name is Chris. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I want to talk about sourcing and finding profitable products for your eBay or Amazon. So let's get straight into it. I'm down about 8% over the last month, and I have not been down in an entire year. So now it's time for me to actually list more items. But where do you actually find more items to sell? If this is information that you like, please smash the like button and consider subscribing. So in our Facebook group, which you can sign up for at patreon.com/the Resellers Podcast, I'm now hosting a sourcing call. I'm going to do it for 3 days and see how it goes. But what I want to do is come up with every single way there is to source and to help people organize the different ways there are to source. And this is the most important thing. If you get one thing out of this entire video, besides smashing the like button, it's that you can't do more than one of what I'm going to go over right now. There's not enough time in the day. You will never be good at it if you do more than one of these. You're going to be stuck in being mediocre, and you have to be really good at these sources because it's very competitive. So number one, I'm going to go over some top tips, and then we'll go over things you need, and then how to set this up. So number one, the best thing that you can do is have your reputation for selling one specific type of item. That way people can start using you as a service to sell that type of item. If you're known for selling restaurant supply, people who sell restaurant supply will start approaching you because you have that reputation. Then you don't have to go out and find sources. People will come to you, and that's the ultimate way to source items. You need to pay immediately or even early. This is really important. If you're sourcing on Poshmark, I had a friend that wrote a script that automatically lowballed people on Poshmark, and he would say, I will pay you immediately and I will rate you as soon as I get the item. That way you can get your funds. And he was essentially professionally lowballing people on Poshmark, and Poshmark and Mercari have more amateur sellers than eBay. So shout out to Oliver in the reseller group who mentioned that he gets some really good deals on Poshmark and Mercari, but also people don't describe their items accurately. When you're buying from eBay to reflip on eBay, be careful because there are more beginners on Poshmark and Mercari. So there's a few things you can learn from that. You as an expert seller will probably do super well on Poshmark and Mercari in comparison to the competition, but there's also way less traffic than Amazon or eBay. So you have to weigh all these different things and make sure that you understand reselling is like a full tackle sport. You got to get in there and do it. So third super tip is you got to buy it all. People do not want you to just pick and choose the home run items. As you're sourcing, you want to buy as many different items from this as the suppliers you can so that you become one of their top buyers. So I need some help with this part of it. So if you guys know the fastest way to learn a brand or category, please put it in the comments section below. As an example, there's a really hot brand called Filson, Filson. This brand, pretty much every single item sells for close to retail or more than retail if it's sold out. What's the fastest way to learn this category? Is it to actually work for Filson? Is it to go to the store and walk around all day with a clipboard or a GoPro and absorb everything? Are you supposed to go on the forums, the Facebook groups, TerraPeak, Solds? Where are you looking to level up? Let me know in the comment section below what you think the fastest way to learn a category is. And once you realize how much work it is to get into something, you're going to immediately understand you cannot do more than one of these. So let's talk about some things you need. Thrifting, garage sales, flea markets, estate sales. You don't need anything. You just need to get there early. It's all about effort. If you show up an hour before the garage sale opens and you are polite, nice, you've emailed them before, you let them know you're serious, you can get the goods before everyone else. If you show up at 8 o'clock in the morning, 3 hours after someone who got all the good stuff arrives, you're not going to get anything. Shout out to Ashley Hustle at Home Mom. She's one of the coaches in our group, and she's actually giving you her Perfecting the Garage Sale guide if you join our Facebook group, but you can also you can just buy it directly from her as well. So shout out to Ashley. If you're going to do wholesale, you need a little bit more stuff. You need a federal EIN and you need a resale certificate. In California, these are both free, so you don't have to pay for those. You just need to set up a company with a federal tax ID. That's how you pay your taxes. And then a resale certificate makes it so you don't have to pay sales tax because you're planning on reselling the item. That's something that's very useful. A resale certificate can come in handy in a lot of different ways, but those are both free. They take 10 minutes to set up. Don't be lazy. Get those set up. Next is creating a sourcing budget. This is huge. Make a profit chart. Maybe you want to make $15. Maybe you want to make 10. You want to make 5. Don't resell unless you do this part. You have to have a profit chart. If you sell something for $15, you need to know how much you net on that $15 sale. Don't just say, I'm making money on it, I'm not going to worry about it, because then you can't determine what's better to buy and what's worse to buy. In our previous example, when you Google Filson, this is something interesting to me. When I looked at the shopping, I saw some items for sale at Zappos.com. Here's this quilted jacket, triple XL. I feel like you could buy it for $117 and flip it for $195 or $200 pretty easily. But then again, you're tying up like $130 with tax. And yes, Zappos has a 365-day return policy, so you can return it for any reason within a year. It's very low risk, but you are tying up a ton of money. So you have to understand that that $200 is not profit. Okay, you flipped it for $200, but you also paid $120 for the item, shipping. It's free shipping through Zappos, but you have to ship it to the customer. You have to pay eBay fees. So something to think about before you throw down $117 plus tax for an item. Or if you use your resale certificate, you can bypass tax. But again, understand your margins. You have to understand how much profit you're making at the end of the day, or don't buy the item. Again, just want to shout out my own sheet right here, bit.ly/reseller instructions. All of the content from all of my episodes is actually in this spreadsheet so that you can just follow along. It's free. I consider it $1,000 a week cheat sheet. You can come back here and reference all my different ideas throughout the year. But I want to make this sourcing guide really, really comprehensive. And so in order to get it, you have to be in the Facebook group. That way I can just keep it a little bit more exclusive. And if you are a master of one of the different categories, talk about it in the group, get a couple of friends, because it's very difficult to do it by yourself. Even if you're just reselling PlayStation 5s, it's better to have a couple of friends that do the same thing so that you guys can get in on that super hot market. Set a minimum profit per item, maybe $5, maybe $10. I recommend $20 minimum profit if you have a full-time job, because you don't want to have a lot of stuff if you have you already have an income. You want to have the most profit, smallest store you can. If you're trying to sell $5 items with a full-time job, I think you're going to run out of space and time. You have to pick expensive and small, or huge and cheap, one of those two. Then determine your expected ROI. Do you want to spend $10 to make 3? Do you want to spend $1 to make 10? Determine what you're willing to risk. I have seen people risk $100 to make 6, and those people are looking to essentially sell only brand new items from the comfort of their home. If you have to go out there, find something for $1 and flip it for $100, there's a lot of hustle involved with that, so you got to pay yourself with your time. And then how long do you want to turn your money over? I would say here, stock market home run would be 6% a year. Complete, relatively passive, right? Compare that with you going out and making a lot more, but you have to do the work. So just consider your time, right? If you're only making 6%, maybe you're better off just putting your money in the stock market or a piece of real estate. So things to look out for. You need to be on top of your returns. If you're buying stuff like this online and the item is not as described, you got to return it right away. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck with bad inventory. And nothing is worse than buying an item to flip and then you lose 100% of that money because you didn't return it and it was item not as described. So just pay attention. And when you're doing online arbitrage, just pay attention to immediately inspect the items when they come in and then get them up for sale immediately. You could do consignment. I'm going to be doing more videos on Alibaba, getting items in to sell on Amazon and eBay that you're ordering direct. Retail arbitrage, Ross, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, Nike Outlet, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, all this stuff. I want people to essentially contribute to this document until we can make it super, super comprehensive. You can do eBay arbitrage, Poshmark Mercari, online store arbitrage. You can do equipment auctions. You can do storage units online. It's a little bit like gambling, but storage units online do well for a lot of people. You can do equipment auctions. Jared in the group pointed out purplewave.com, which is a really cool site for different auctions when it comes to equipment. And then you can also 3D print items that are popular. This is something that I was looking at. So one of the items that I try and snipe is a Scarlett Solo. So inside of here, there's only 184 items, but look at the sell-through rate. It's insane. And one thing I thought was very cool was this is the mixer that I use for this YouTube channel. And it's sitting on top of my desk and taking up a bunch of space. This person's actually printing a mounting bracket so I can mount it below my desk. This is a genius idea. I'm actually going to buy one after this call because it's a really, really good use of space, right? Okay, so you could 3D print items that are popular. There's a gentleman, Joe, in the group. He prints stickers, which is also phenomenal. So again, there's a million different ways to source. You cannot do all of these ways of finding items to sell. Here are some specific websites you can look at, liquidations. I'm also going to put auction websites here. Let's see, auction websites. Like, let's say auctionzip.com. And all these different websites that we put in here, your mileage may vary. Some people find lots that are great. Some people buy lots that are duds. Again, there are 1,000,001 different ways to source, but you've got to just spend your time and get really, really good at a few of them. And if you need some help, join our Facebook group. It's $35 a month. We haven't had anybody leave, actually, so it's pretty amazing. We have over 500 people that are support our podcast and a couple hundred people in the Facebook group. If for some reason you don't find value in the group, we'll give you your money back, but it's pretty self-explanatory. You join the group, you talk about posting every day, you talk about tips and tricks to get in with your post office carrier. You time yourself. Chris Blunt, shout out to her, getting 20 listings done in an hour and 15 minutes. Incredible. Imagine, even at $5 profit an item, that's $100 an hour, right? So get in here, talk to people about bottlenecks, and again, appreciate you guys' time for stopping by. Very grateful that you're here. Until next time, guys, make progress daily.